welcome to Clawfoot Farm. I'm Samantha, and it's September already, and the kids are in school this week, which means I have the day to go out into the garden. So there's a lot of things to do in the garden today, and come take a walk with me, and let's go see what's going on. Okay, first off, I want to show you our peppers. So we have our peppers in these pots. These are just pots that we got at the dollar store in the cleaning supply, those little buckets basically. And I drilled holes in the bottom for drainage. Now our pepper plants this year had a really rough start, and they did not grow very big. I mean, these are 7 or 8 inches tall, but these are little mini bell peppers. But we are starting now, and these are jalapenos. This one's getting a little bigger, to get a lot more peppers. So I am harvesting these. These are regular bell peppers here, about every third day. Sorry for the shadow, but so we are harvesting these about every third day now, which is making me pretty happy. Okay, now we're going to make a stop down here on our parking strip garden. I'll give you a little overview. Parking strip garden here. And our apple tree is ready to pick. So as soon as I get an afternoon in the kitchen, we're going to come and pick these apples. They didn't really get super large. This tree is 3 years old, and I did not think it was going to have apples this year. So I didn't thin them when they started to have apples. So now we have a whole bunch of lunchbox size apples. Lunchbox size apples, which is perfect for the kids to go back to school. And this is what happens when you don't trellis your tomatoes. So we have tomatoes that are trellised and doing fantastically, better than ever before. These over here, I didn't trellis at all. I was out of sorts and didn't do them at all. So no trellising. There are a lot of tomatoes still green, getting ripe in there. They're all kind of just on the ground and entirely sprawled. But you know, they're taking up this space, and they're doing their thing. Here's a really pretty view of some. These are called blue cream berries. Oh yeah, those guys are ripe. And some alyssum popping up in there. I did scatter a few flowers in there. There's some marigolds growing up. But really, the tomatoes are just sprawled out everywhere. They're overtaking my walking onions, but I think it'll be fine once we pull them out. Okay, here is our pumpkin patch. So the pumpkin patch that is planted, you can see the roads right there, all of the road and the parking strip here. So pumpkin patch is planted in our parking strip, and we have 9 large pumpkins. I have the way leaf. There we go. These pumpkins are, here's my hand on the pumpkin, probably 40-pound pumpkins. We have one that's a little bit larger over here. That one is probably about a 50 or 60-pound one. These guys are probably 40 pounds. There's 2 of them right here. And then we have a bunch of, these are super cute pumpkins. These are probably ready to harvest. These little turban pumpkins here. Not pumpkins, turban squash. They're super interesting. They just grow as a big square. Very fun. Those are great for winter squash. There's another pumpkin growing there. And a whole bunch of acorn squash, which is also ready to harvest. Now, Now we're coming back over here, and this is what our volunteer squash did. If you want to take a look at that. This is 2 plants right here. Our volunteer squash, a zucchini, and then a cross between like a zucchini and a patty pan that volunteered right on the side of our tomatoes. Today we are taking out those zucchinis. They are growing entirely. This is the sidewalk. This is the walkway that people, the public people, take to cross the road here to go walking around the block. And we have been pruning this back, but we have really gotten a lot of zucchini out of these. We have zucchini in the, there's one right there. Uh-oh, there's one that's getting too big. Yep, zucchini. We have zucchini in the freezer. We have zucchini relish. I've given away zucchini. Sometimes you just have enough zucchini. But since these zucchini are overtaking the sidewalk, people can't walk. I'm kind of waiting for the city to come and tell me I have to take them out, and I really don't want to be like on their radar with that. So we're gonna just take them out. We have enough zucchini at home, and we're gonna take the zucchini out, let the acorn squash and the pumpkins get ripe for a few more weeks until we pick them and grow our tomatoes. Because the tomatoes are, there's our tomato patch. It just is a giant hedge of tomatoes. We are picking the tomatoes every day now. And there's a whole pack of tomatoes in there. And in this patch, we have 40 tomato plants. Let's see if I can walk around these squash. Oh yeah, here's our other squash. That is the cross, the squash that's a cross between a patty pan and a zucchini. But yeah, the tomatoes are, we're getting probably a basket of tomatoes a day from these. They had a really slow start, but they're up on cattle panels, and they have overgrown the cattle panels, and I cannot tie them up anymore, and so they've then flopped over and created these tunnels. But I can still get in there and walk all the way through. These tomatoes are one of our favorites. There's one right in there. This one's called Golden Siberia. Golden King of, I think it's Golden King of Siberia. That one is a favorite this year, a brand new one. So it's the next day. My basket, we're gonna pick the last zucchini that are growing on there, and then we're gonna pull out those plants and free up the sidewalk. Alrighty, let's take a look Look at that, there is a sidewalk there. We definitely can get to the tomatoes now, which really has been one of my goals, because we definitely have some tomatoes to pick. So that's the next thing to do this afternoon, is to come out here and get some of these tomatoes. Okay, come with me and I'll show you these tomatoes that we have. This tomato plant is growing right on at the front of our house. There's the front steps of our house. It's just growing right there, and look at this cluster of giant tomatoes. It got a little bit wet and they started to split on the top. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These guys are ready to pick. Okay, so I got my clippers. This is just such a giant cluster. Oh my gosh, it's gonna fall. Okay. Oh my, even the branch is so giant. There it goes. Look at those. I will say, does anyone want a tomato sandwich? All right, well, thank you for coming with me and cleaning up the yard. And I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.